due to the way we fish here. They've been adapted and adopted at other locations throughout the world and are used in saltwater also. They use them a little bit differently, but the main reason people use these is to be able to use a heavy lead weight. These are 15-pounders, and that helps us take a bait down quickly and keep it close to the boat so we can avoid tangles. This is a 15-pound weight. I like these weights. They're made by a captain out of Grand Haven. Came up with this design. A lot of people have used the round weight. This weight's just a little narrower, so as you drop your line down, the further down you go, you get a drawback on the downrigger line. These tend to minimize it. They have a small tail on the back. You can see we've got a little bit of a bend to it. That keeps it pulling away from the boat. We like that just to keep things spread out a little bit more so that we don't, when we're fishing really deep, tangle downrigger weights. That is not a good thing to do. Okay, once you've decided how far back you want the bait, with the release that we're using, the Black's release that we showed you earlier, we put in a twist. Some guys do 6, I just twist away. I end up with anywhere from 8 to 10 typically on my natural twist away twist. Just as long as you have enough twist that it's not going to pull through the release, you're going to be good to go. This just makes sure that the distance back you've selected is going to stay that distance back. We then put it in the release. We have a little flip, little metal flip, stainless steel. You just put it through the hole. You see you have the twist on the other side. Snap it in and you're ready to go. As that tightens up, that's not going to allow that bait to move anywhere. We also have an adjustment on the release. You can tighten or loosen it. It's just a little thumb screw. This here is a speed and temperature probe. It tells us our speed and temperature at the depth that we select on the downrigger. There are very many different styles and manufacturers of these. They tell us our speed and temperature down below, which is very important information for Great Lakes fishing. We have readouts that display that data, and we keep an eye on that throughout the day to make sure that we're targeting the right temperature of water where the king salmon are going to be. Okay, be very careful as you're putting your lead weights in the water. Pay very close attention to not drop them. Be very careful with your equipment. These things are expensive. These probes are very expensive. A lot of you know all about that already. These tell us our speed and our temp down below. Very important piece of fishing equipment, but be very careful as you're setting your weight off the side of the boat not to just drop them and throw them over the side. All right, we're going to gently place the lead weight into the water so that we don't beat on our equipment. And once we get things all set, make sure your rod doesn't have any tangles, all of your line is nice and smooth, drag is properly set. Properly set means that you don't want the drag too tight that it's going to pop your release. Then you're going to be resetting these all day long and you become an expert in no time. Loose drag, but not too loose. As it goes down, you will see that the rod will help it down. The rod bends over and it pulls the drag out, keeping everything nice and tight. Keeping the rod nice and tight helps out for a couple of reasons. After you get to depth in your fishing, it helps out seeing when the fish releases it from the release. The other reason is it helps keep things a little bit tighter to the boat and out of the way when you're setting other devices like dipsy divers around it and those types of things. Right there, I don't know if anybody noticed, but we just hit the bottom. So we're at bottom already. Be careful when dragging on the bottom if you're in an area with rocks. You can lose these very quickly. Okay, we've got our downrigger down. We've got a rod on here. Right now I've got it in an over-the-top rod holder. This isn't necessarily my favorite way of doing things. The rod is up really high. It's really good for visually seeing what's going on, but that rod is in the way when we get other gear out and we're working around it. So I prefer to have the rod as low to the water as possible And you will see most of my rods on my outbound are adjusted in a way that the tip almost touches the water. This keeps everything out of the way. The rod is clean, out of the way, not in the way as we set dipsies, not in the way as we pull in our planer boards with copper line on it. Keeps everything nice and neat and out of the way. Thank you very much for watching our video. Come out and see us on the beautiful Great Lakes and enjoy Saugatuck and Lake Michigan.